Hey, welcome back to the Healthy Funnel Podcast. We're here with one of our good friends and honestly, one of the most amazing sources of video knowledge in the marketing world, period. Like I literally can't think of anyone else who knows more about video production, how to actually plan out your videos, how to use videos for ads, like anywhere in the entire marketing realm. Will, can you think of anyone else who's a better authority on this?
Not in the world that we know of. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's done ads for video ads for ClickFunnels for some of the top online marketers in the game in the world that you can think of. If you've seen one of their ads, you probably didn't know it was this guy behind it who was either spearheading it or his team was spearheading it. And I think might be our first return guest that we've ever had on the podcast. So we're going to add that to the LinkedIn resume for him as we put this on. But Alex, I'm super pumped. We have Kevin Anson back with us, the video guru, the guy who's behind so many of the ads that we see out in the world, and not just ads, but videos, video content for so many people. Kevin, we're so incredibly excited to have you back on the show.
What's up, you guys? Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. That was quite the intro, so I'm just gonna just be quiet now because that was like the best intro I've ever had, I think, right there.
Okay, now I want, for people listening, I don't know if they know the types of people that you've worked with before, right? Will said, hey, you've worked with ClickFunnels. It's not like you worked with ClickFunnels a little bit, like you've been one of their main video guys for a long time in terms of helping them craft their videos. You did a lot of their editing. You did a lot of their ads for them. You've worked with people like Damon John, right? You've worked with people like Brendan Burchard. You've talked with people like Tony Robbins' team, which I really hope that this happens for you, man. But you've been doing this for a while and you found what works in videos and obviously what doesn't too. And you've also got something ridiculously valuable that you're putting out, I think, over the coming week or so. By the time this launches, it'll probably be live. But you're putting together just a ridiculous resource too for people that we want to let them know about, who those who are creatives that are trying to make their video content astronomically better. He's got something that you're going to want to listen at the end of this. In fact, I'm just going to tell you right now, you should go check it out. It's thevideoformula.com, thevideoformula.com. We'll talk all about that. But Kevin's a longtime friend who has also just really rocked it in terms of providing very high value for people as he's gotten in his Facebook group, or anytime I'm on the phone with him or we meet in person, it's just like, holy crap, man, you're doing amazing things. And we wanted to talk about today, how do we make our video content better as online course creators, as coaches, as we're putting out our marketing out to the world? What are some things that we can be doing to make sure that our videos are actually resonating with people, that they're getting attention, and that ultimately they're getting the outcome that we want, which is, hey, we want calls booked, we want sales made, we want people to sign up for our webinars, for our challenges, and ultimately drive eyeballs to our offers. So Kevin, that being said, I want to start off with, what are some things that you find people doing that aren't working right now? And maybe this is putting you on the spot a little bit, but stuff that's like super common that you're like, oh man, yeah, I see that mistake all the time as we get things kicked off here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people are doing that's not working or it's unnecessary is that they feel like they have to go out and either A, buy a bunch of expensive camera equipment, or B, hire a expensive production crew or expensive video production company to produce whatever it is that they're trying to do. And I'm not saying that doesn't work, because it can work if you work with the right people. Like, well, that's what we do. I'm not trying to throw rocks at my own agency, but I think that there's a lot of people who feel like they have to go all out, spend all this money, do all this stuff to get results, whereas that's not true. I mean, if you look at one of the greatest marketers of all time, Frank Kern, he is constantly recording video ads on his phone, because I think he's a creative guy and he feels inspired a lot when he goes out. Maybe he's going out to grab a burrito or something, or at a restaurant, and he'll be in his car on the way over there and he'll just get an idea and he'll just pull out his phone, he'll record a video, and they'll probably upload it to Dropbox or wherever and send it to his guy and say, hey, run this as an ad. And my point is that there was no production crew, there was no lighting, there was no professional audio. It was just literally him pulling out his phone. But where he what he understands is marketing. He understands human psychology. He understands messaging. And that's why his videos do so well. So it's not all about how amazing the editing and the music and all the crazy bells and whistles that you put on your video. It's all about the messaging. And that's what I am teaching in the program that Alex was just talking about, the videoformula.com. But it's like, it's all about what you're saying in your videos to get people to really like first stop and watch, and then also resonate with you, and actually, like, you know, you speak to them and where they're at in their lives, as far as pain points and just different things that you put into your videos. But once your message is dialed in with your videos, I mean, they're going to do a heck of a lot better than if you don't know that stuff. So there's a lot to talk about there, but that's my short answer on that.
Dude, I think you hit on, Kevin, what we're really excited to talk to you about is, I think hopefully that's really exciting for people who are listening too, who are like, you know, Kevin, maybe they're doing 10K a month, 20K a month. And the thought of like, I'm gonna have to pay a film crew like 25 grand up front to make an ad or to make a video production of like, oh, wow, great. There are people at high level still doing this on their phone and are able to make incredible content. And I think what you hit the nail on the head though, of like, how do we actually navigate the psychology of video, right? Because we have the added element. We can hear voice, we can see, right? Compared to say just a written post and a written text or just an image. But the psychology behind video, right? Like, I think it was really cool. We were off air and what you were like, dude, this is one of the like most amazing things I put together, this videoformula.com. But by the way, it's not about jump cuts or crazy lighting editing things. Like, it is about what are the key elements that you have to do to actually help persuade someone to move forward into taking action. And I would love to dive in just that first little bit. Like, when we're thinking about the first 5-10 seconds, and maybe you correct me if it's even shorter in today's world, of actually getting someone's attention. We're thinking like social media scrolling, we're looking at popping up somewhere. When you're working with someone, like, how do you help them, guide them through those first 5 to 10 seconds? And how critical are those first 5 to 10 seconds?
I'd say they're extremely critical because there's a lot of noise online when you're scrolling through whatever social media platform you're looking at. And there's a lot of, we call them talking heads, where you scroll through and just like we are right now, we're talking heads on a screen and we're just blah. And so if you see a talking head on a social media platform and that's all it is just some dude sitting there talking, it's not really very engaging. It's not something that makes you want to stop. So in the beginning of your video, do something different. We call it a pattern interrupt, which is a linguistic programming term, NLP, or you call it a scroll stopper. And it's basically just something that you do that's different or out of the ordinary in the beginning of a video. And I mean, it could be as simple as just like waving your hands at the camera, just like trying to get like, hey, like stop, hold on, let me share something with you guys. Or, you know, you could be spinning around in a circle, you could be in a weird environment, and there's all kinds of different tricks. And I go into like 10 of my like favorite ones in the program too, but it's like, or I have a fire wallet, which I could show you guys right now, which I'm sure you guys have seen this before, Will and Alex, but it's basically a wallet that I use, and I just flick it on fire on camera, and then I start my message. And it's as simple as that. Like, you get like, what, have you ever scrolled through social media and seen somebody holding a wallet that's on fire? Like, that's going to stop you from scrolling, right? As opposed to some dude that's just standing there talking. So the pattern interrupt is, that's like the first ingredient in my 10 ingredient formula. And that is, I think it's the most important, I'd say it's the top 3 most important ingredients in the entire formula, because when I don't do that in a video, like, I can see the results. It's just, it affects the results. So you gotta do that.
So once you've got someone's attention, then you get their initial, like, great, I stopped their scroll. Then what should we be thinking in terms of patterning our video so that we're actually getting and keeping attention throughout it? Like, great, we've got attention, now what?
One of the biggest things that I like to do, the second thing, is to identify them. Because if you make a video or an ad, whether it's organic or paid, and you jump on camera and you start talking about this thing, and maybe your product or your service, like, it only applies to like stay-at-home moms, but you forgot to call them out in the beginning. Like, what I'm saying is you need to say like, hey, are you a stay-at-home mom and you're navigating through online curriculums right now? Like, that could be the first thing that you say. If you don't say that and you just start talking about your thing, I mean, it's going to take like 30 or 45 seconds before somebody even figures out what the heck you're talking about. Like, maybe they don't even make it that far. Or maybe you're marketing to the wrong people. The wrong people are clicking on your ads. So you're going to waste money on ad spend because the wrong people are watching your video. The wrong people are clicking on your link. But as soon as you say, hey, are you a stay-at-home mom? That like screens everyone else out. And then it screens the right people in because they're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm struggling my butt off with online curriculum. Like, I need to hear this. So identifying the person in the beginning of the video, I have found is really important. And then the thing that comes after that is the hook, what Alex was just talking about. So hooking people in is, it's really important too, because it's sort of like the cover of the book in a way. It's kind of like if you were to see two books on the shelf at a bookstore, like the book on the left just has a picture and that's it on the cover, just a picture. And then the one on the right has like a headline over top of the picture. Like maybe it's a picture of the beach, right? One just has a picture of the beach, one's a picture of the beach and also has a headline on top, like, 3 ways you can save thousands of dollars on your next vacation. You're like, holy crap, I need to know what that is because I need to save thousands of dollars on my next vacation. So that's the hook. That's like gives the person a reason to stick around in your video, right? So you could be like, pattern interrupt, your wallet's on fire. Like, hey, are you a stay-at-home mom? In this video, I'm going to share with you guys 3 mistakes that every stay-at-home mom is making with their online curriculums. And you're like, oh man, I need to know what those 3 mistakes are. Like that's huge. And so now you've stopped them from scrolling, you've identified them and you've hooked them in, and now you got them. And they're going to want to stick around until the end of your video to learn what those 3 things are. And then at the end, you hit them with a call to action. You're like, hey, if you want to learn more about my thing, go to xyz.com. Or, if you want to follow me, go here, subscribe to my channel, make sure to like this video, comment on this video, tag a friend in this video, all that fun stuff. So there you go.
Dude, I think as we're talking, Kevin, that as you're laying that all out, I'm picturing some people are probably like me, and I'm already thinking like, oh my gosh, I just usually hit the like go live button or the record button, and I don't even plan things out. And like, how many of us are out there? Like you talked about Frank Kern, right? Just like wing it, go for it. And to some degree, I think, in the beginning, like just getting comfortable on camera, it's a great time to wing it. But when we're moving into this next stage, and someone like you who actually runs your business, I do want to go back into this process, but it's hitting me even harder, the importance of something like the videoformula.com of, are you even thinking about how you're going to map this process out? Because I'm hearing all this. I know I've heard this probably 10 times from you, Kevin, and watching other videos 30 times. And I just feel so lazy. And I think it's not lazy because I just don't feel confident in what I'm actually planning out and scripting out. How much time do you put into, let's say, that you're going to do content for a week for your own business, right? You're going to make a video, I don't know how many days. Let's just say you're going to make 3 videos for this week, and you're going to keep them all under like 3 minutes. What does it actually look like for you? And if there's a better example, you let me know, run with it. But like, how do you actually sit down and think about how you're going to create this? Because there's definitely a process, whereas I just think, great, what do I want to talk about? What am I going to do? And clearly that's probably how a lot of people are doing it, missing out. How do you actually sit down and prepare this out? Like, do you have a process, or how do you actually think through this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just bullet point it out. I'm not doing word for word scripts or anything like that. And I'll just kind of say, all right, cool. I know I'm going to hit them with this pattern interrupt in the beginning. I'm going to hit them with this identify. I already know who they are. Like, are you an entrepreneur who's running ads in your business or whatever? And then it's like, are you, or else then the hook is like, here's 3 mistakes, or here's 3 secrets, or here's what we're going to talk about in this video. So I just kind of bullet point that stuff out. And then I know going into it, like, these are the 3 points that I want to hit on. And then that's pretty much it. Like, people kind of overthink the whole like scripting out their video, where they're like word for word, it has to be like perfect. I have to nail it. I have to like yeah, you're like, I have to get the script just exactly right. And that's not really it. It's more just like there's these 10 sort of just blocks that you just have to make sure that you plug into the video when you jump on camera. And even if it's like, having like a sheet below the lens of your camera or your smartphone, or maybe it's, you write it on your hand or something, like just a couple bullet points. That's all you really need. You just need to make sure that you hit on those specific, like, they're like triggers. Like the video formula, there's 10 ingredients, but they're really triggers. And they're things that the viewer like wants to hear from you when they watch you on camera, or they watch you, deliver your message. And once you sort of check off those boxes in their head, those triggers, it's like, it makes them feel comfortable with you, that they know that you're the right person for this, the right person to listen to, the right person to follow, you're the right person to sell them this thing. And so it's really just, yeah, like I said, just write those things down before you go on camera. And it shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. Just sit there and just kind of make some notes and be good to go. So yeah.
Love it, man. Dude, I think it's so cool to look at, like, there really is just a formula behind this. And when you start recognizing it, you can start noticing that in all the content that you're watching from these guys and gals who are at the top of the game. Like, oh, okay, great. There's their pattern interrupt. Like, I see Russell all the time, or maybe it's just, I think I do. I see him waving his hands. It's like, hey. It's like, oh, dude, it's the Russell wave, right? Like, some people even make fun of that sometimes on YouTube, but it's like, there's the Russell wave. Okay, sweet. And then, hey, if you're a course creator, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, right? Like, you see those things and you just start realizing it's like, hey, everyone's kind of playing under the same formula here, right? But at the same time, it's like that formula multiplied by your personality and your unique flair is what really allows people to get drawn into your world, even though it's like everyone else is doing the same thing, right? So that's ultimately what my question is getting at. Even though there's that formula, how do you make sure that it stays true to you and that you don't feel scammy or spammy or fake as you're going through this different kind of checklist, putting in those different building blocks into your video?
I think it just comes with practice, I guess, and how you're delivering it, and not sounding too, like you're saying, spammy. Because you might, the first time you do it, it might feel a little unauthentic. I think that's the right word. To where you're feeling like you're being too markety. But the more you practice, the more you just kind of just build it into your normal everyday language, the more comfortable you feel. But if you're familiar with your audience and you know them really well and you've spoken to them a lot on the phone and you just understand them, it should come out pretty natural, especially if you're like, the next thing is like diving into their pain points. It's sure. Like, are you just struggling with running ads for your business? Or are you struggling with, back pain or whatever it is that you have? And so I forget where I was going after that, but it's definitely, I think it's just a matter of just practice and being comfortable. But like, it might feel spammy to you in your head too, or markety, but like when you're saying those things to the people where you're actually talking about the real pain points that they have, like you're speaking directly to them. They're going to listen. They're not going to feel like you're being Mr. Marketing Guy, especially if you're giving a little bit of value in your videos too, where you're going to share with them three tips to fix that pain. Even though you might have like 100 more and that's where you sell them 100 more, but like give them like 3 that they can kind of walk away with. And then they'll see you as the authority. You'll build value, credibility. And then they'll want to, look you up and buy more stuff from you later. So yeah.
Totally. So dude, I'm thank you for that, by the way. I think that there's nothing that can replace just getting the reps in of that and becoming comfortable with your own voice of how you embody all those principles that you've talked through. I want to shift for a minute to you've had a really unique experience in your career with being able to work with very high level entrepreneurs, very high level, not just entrepreneurs, but now like true business owners, moguls in their industries. I'd like to know what you've learned about operating at a high level by working with people at the level that you've worked with. Like, how are they operating differently than someone who's maybe in their first 6 figures or still not hit the 7 figures? Like, what about them as individuals, the Russells, the Brendan Burchards, the Damon John, like, what are they doing differently than the rest of us schmucks that are stuck at, the sub 7 figure mark? If that's a fair question to ask just as you've interacted with them.
Yeah, I think it's just really about teams and systems. making sure that everyone at every level has sort of those standard operating procedures in place. Because really, you can't scale a business by yourself. Because if you're working in the business and not working on the business, I mean, it's just never gonna grow. You're always gonna be stuck in that spot. But once you can kind of bring in people and teach them what you know, and put those standard operating procedures in front of them, and then you just hire more and more people. But yeah, I think that's the difference between them. It's like the big influencers that you see, like Russell and Dean Graziosi or Brendan Burchard. Like they're like the visionaries, and so they wake up in the morning and then they have like this. They go on a walk and they have this crazy idea of some new product that they want to launch, and they'll just pull out their phone and start messaging all the people on their team, like, oh my gosh, came out with a cool idea, like I want to do all this cool stuff, and they'll just sort of just delegate. So that's probably the difference between those people at that higher level where it's they can delegate the stuff versus people like at the 6-figure level where we come up with ideas and then we're like, all right, cool, I'm going to sit down and like execute on this thing. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, you have just like, we're all still in that in that spot where we're working in our businesses because we're trying to aspire to get to that level where we have a bunch of team members that we can just hand stuff off to. But I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of what I've seen in working with them.
Thanks for sharing that, Kevin. And I really want to ask you, I've got a chance here, is you've done something really cool that I think we work with a lot of people who are doing the same kind of thing that you're doing. You've gone from an incredibly successful and powerful done-for-you agency, which still exists, right? You guys still have your done-for-you agency, Kevin?
We do, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are crushing it, working with some of the top people in the world. And now you're moving into the coaching, course creating type space. And I'd love to pick your brain. What have been some of the lessons you've learned going from, hey, I know how to do all of this, my team, we can do this, we've got a project. How do I take this knowledge that I've been doing for decades, right? You've been just at the top of your game in this done for you world. How do I start doing this into an online product, some info products, to the coaching world? I think we have so many people that come to us that are coaches and or consultants, and they're like, I am so good at what I do, but I'm not in this online world. And they just think it'll translate over immediately. Like, well, surely, because I was so great at this done for you thing, it'll clearly translate into the online world. And you've lived through this, being someone who's got such a reputation with a done for you agency, moving into the info product world. What have been some things that you've learned maybe that have been positive and then challenging at the same time?
I would say that for the longest time, I was running the agency and I wasn't really trying to grow it. We were just sort of like happy with a couple clients that we had that were spending a lot of money with us, and we were good. And then all of a sudden this pandemic hit, and it sort of just like, just stirred up the waters. And I was like, crap, like we have to adapt, and we have to actually like go out there and find some clients. And I think for a long time, I was always just kind of like, my way of getting clients was either like word of mouth, or I would just sort of reach out to a couple of people and try to get some business in that way. But I think the game changer for us was like, I was like, let's run a campaign and let's turn on some video ads. Like, let's do what we actually do for other people. And I was like blown away by the results that we got. Like in 10 days, we got so many new clients that we had to turn our ads off. And it was just like, it was unbelievable. Like I was like, man, that was easy. And so I'm like, if I ever want to, scale the agency again, all I have to do is just turn the faucet on, and next thing you know, we'll get more clients. And so it was crazy. So anyways, if you guys are somebody who's listening to this right now and they're thinking like, I need more clients, or like my business isn't doing well, like have you run ads before? Like I don't know, it's kind of like frustrating to me when I see people bragging online about how they grew their entire business without spending any money on ads. And it's like, well, congratulations, but imagine how rich you would be if you would have run some ads. Like imagine how many clients you would have then. And it's just baffling to me how people sit there and like, can you grow a business organically? Sure, you can. And it's a lot of freaking work. Like you gotta build build an email list. You got to set up a Facebook group. You got to foster those people and do all this work that it's just like time is money. Like, do you want to spend like 10% of the amount of time and just run some ads, or do you want to spend like a crap ton more time and like grow that thing organically. Like any day I'd rather just turn on some ads, spend a couple $1,000 and get some new clients. Like that's just me. So if you guys are not running ads for your company or whatever the service or the product that is you're trying to sell, like set up a simple funnel or a simple website, like where people can like read a headline at the top that they understand what you do, and you talk about a little bit about your service or product, and then say, click this button to call us or book a call or go here to buy our, like just set up something and start getting some people into your world, because that'll change everything. So.
Ooh, that's so good, man. And it makes me wonder and I know that these are clients, so you can't share any specific details, and you can tell me, Alex, don't ask me this question, but what do you see working right now in the coaching and consulting space or course creation space at large from an ads perspective? Meaning, do you see a lot of people right now going, and I know that with some of these higher level people, this might not even be their model, but in our world, we see a lot of video ad or image ad to VSL, right? Where someone's going to a video sales letter and then book a call. Or are you seeing a lot of, maybe that's not Russell's model, and so someone like him is running ads to a smaller program and then a bunch of retargeting ads to get people in the smaller program and work their way up a quote unquote value ladder? What do you see kind of at large right now, since you've been so entrenched in this space, with what's working right now for people? Or do you see that, hey, doesn't really matter the model as long as you're executing it properly? Like what do you see at large right now?
Well, the way that we did it was we have a landing page where somebody can opt in to get a free case study, which is a case study about how we helped, so-and-so build their business, using our video ads. So it's like, oh, look, download the case study, how we helped so-and-so 10X their business or whatever. And so they download the case study, and then the next page is just like a mini webinar where it's like a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
It's literally just PowerPoint slides with, there's a white background with black text on top. It's like, it's me voicing it over, and it's like, are you trying to, grow your business with video ads? And I go into the whole spiel. So I think mini webinars are really successful right now. And when structured properly, you can, get people to understand that you are the person to solve their problem. You talk about some results that you've gotten for people, and then they fill out an application form, and book a call to work with you. So that's worked really well for me. I think one of the secrets I would say with setting up an application funnel like that, and you actually start getting applications, is to screen people out before they are able to jump on the phone with you. And so I cannot tell you how many hours of my life I've saved by not getting on the phone with people who are not qualified. Like so what happens is they fill out an application, I get their cell phone number and jot form or whatever. As soon as their application goes through, I get a notification on my phone. It's like, you just got a new application. I'm like, sweet. I look at the application, and then I'll copy paste their cell phone number into another app called Sales Message. It's salesmessage.com. And I'll like message them a first little message I'm like, hey, what's up? This is Kevin Anson. I just saw your application come through. Just so you know, this is not a bot. I always say that so they know it's like actually me texting them. And then like probably like the second or third correspondence that we have with each other, I'll be like, just so you know, just to let you know, so I don't waste your time, our minimum monthly cost to engage is $2,500 per month. So if you still want to jump on a call, let me know. And then like probably 80% of the people are like, you're insane. I'm not paying that much money. They don't say that, but some of them are like, no, thank you. That's too much. Or they just don't respond. But like, imagine how many phone calls I would have gotten on and spent like 30. Some people like to talk, and they would talk to you for an hour and be like, blah, 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 let me tell you all about my business. And then at the end of the call, you're like, oh, it's $2,500 a month. And they go, what? And then you're like, God, I just wasted 45 minutes of my life. And then so like that one text message saves me a lot of time with my kids. So anyways, that's my story on that.
Oh man, I think we've all been there. If you're in that space and you've run application funnels before, yeah, I think we can all relate to that pretty well. Dude, Kevin, thank you so much for letting us in on that and the process that's worked and what you guys did for your ads to be successful. I do want to, dude, Kevin, I want to spend some time here to talk about the videoformula.com and everything that's been you've been working on over the past little bit. For anyone who's like listening to this and they're like, man, I've just been not doing videos, right? I've not been putting video content out there the way that I should be. What is what prompted you to create the videoformula.com, and kind of what can people expect if they get in?
Yeah, what prompted me to make it was that there was lots of people asking me, you know, I want to make a video or whatever for my product or service, or I want to do organic videos, but I don't know what to say in my video. I don't know what to talk about. Like, I don't even know how to record it. Like, do I have to have expensive equipment? Do I have to do lighting? Like all these questions that I get asked all the time. And I started having the same answer every time. It was like, dude, you have a smartphone in your pocket right now. Like, there's your camera, just get started. So don't let that stop you. So, and then it's that, and it's just all the human psychological elements that I have inside the video formula that when put into a video, they perform really well, like I talked about earlier. And so, yeah, it's sort of just been this, I don't want to say it's like my life's work, because like I've been doing videos since 2004, but I didn't really understand marketing and human psychology until like 2015, maybe 16. So I've really only been really understood it for the last 4 years, even though I've made thousands of videos before that. But working with Russell Brunson and Brendon Burchard and Frank Kern, Grant Cardone, like all these crazy people, I really started to see what it was that made these videos do so well. Because like in the beginning, when I worked with the ClickFunnels, which was, I say the beginning, which was like 2016, I started working with Russell. Like they had me making videos, or they had me making a couple ads. Like I didn't know what I was doing, and they ran whatever I gave them. I was just like, I don't know, this looks cool. Like the song in this is, it's kicking. Like this has got to work. And I would send them videos and thinking that they would work. Sometimes they would, I would get lucky, but most of the times they wouldn't. Like they wouldn't get that many views or clicks or whatever. And so over the course of time, like I'm making hundreds of videos for mostly ClickFunnels. I started to learn like, oh my gosh, okay, that ingredient that like made a difference. And then I'm like, then I would pick up another ingredient. And then I kind of watch other marketers too and what they were doing. I'm like, that's an ingredient I see in every single time. Like I get it now. And so I making a list, and I'm like, I have this, the notes app on my phone, and I'm like always like building on this like 10 ingredient like formula, like a list of things that need to go in the videos. And like I fine tuned it over time. Like I would pull things out, add something different in, and eventually I just came up with this formula of things that need to go into a video. And it's just been crazy how it happened that way. And like now with my agency, we have 4 people working in the agency. Like that's the list that we're always looking at when we make a video. And it works. And so like, you don't have to put all 10 in every single time you do a video. Like there's a couple different, variations that you can do, like where you can do just 3 of the ingredients for a video, or you can do 5 of them. You can kind of mix and match a little bit, but there are like key ones that you want to put in every time. And I talk about that in my training. But yeah, so the video formula, I mean, it's been a lot. It's been millions of dollars in ad spend and tens of millions of dollars in revenue, like as a result of the videos that I've done for my clients. And it's like, it's in that formula. Like it's legit. So
I just want to back that up. I started going through it last week, and as Will and I are creating new videos for our business, and it's like, shoot, man, this is like the whole thing right here. Like I'm sitting down taking furious notes of like, okay, I got to make sure I got 1, 2, 3, like those little mini recipes that you talk about of like, hey, you got to have, these components in there. These ones have to be in there. These ones are optional. Like just all starting to make sense. And like, oh man, these are the things that some of them I did naturally already just over, the course of years of learning marketing. It's like someone's actually pulled all of these out from, I can tell, millions of dollars worth of videos being run. It's like, dude, it's all just right there. And it does not cost you $2,500 a month to get into this program. Like it's actually a legit steal. When you told me how much you were charging people, I was like, dude, wait, what? You're charging how much? So tell the people, how much is the program?
it is a whopping $37. And yeah, I mean, if you go through, you're going to get hit with a couple upsells. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, you can still get in and out of there with, less than $400 for everything, which is pretty dang good. So yeah. And
it's a freaking steal, people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So thevideoformula.com, which by the way is just a completely epic domain. I don't know how you ever got that. You tend to get really good domains, man. I'm really impressed. And when does this thing officially go live?
So, I don't know. Do you want me to say what day that we're recording this? Today is Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. And so it should be available probably 7 days from now, I would say. I'll say 7 to 10 days. So towards the end of September. Yeah, it's gonna be out there. So definitely check it out. I forget what else I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just been a compilation of, you know, the last 16 years, if you will, of me making thousands and thousands of videos. And so really anyone can step in and just go through the formula and apply it. Oh, I know what I was going to say is the coaches and consultants is something where they're, oh, yeah. Okay. So testimonials are really important. If you're a coach or a consultant, I would say focus on getting testimonials from people, even if it means that you have to do a couple consults for free. Like, other people might not agree with that statement, but I grew my business on doing videos for free in the beginning and getting like my first client was $1 billion client, and I got them by doing a video for them for free. Like, I worked my tail off to get them and to do that. So anyways, if you guys want to get, if you don't have results right now to show people, I would focus all your time and your energy on getting results and getting some testimonials, get video testimonials, written testimonials from some of your clients. And like I said, if no one's willing to throw money at you yet, do a consult for free. I know Russell did that in the beginning with, was it Drew Canoli from, what's that company called? Organifi? Is that right? Yeah. So he did that with him and like got him insane results. And then his inner circle started because of that. And then he's charging people, you know, 25, 50 grand a year just to be in his inner circle. So do you think it was worth it for him to work for free in the beginning? Yeah, I think it was. So,
dude, I gotta say, my biggest takeaways from this episode so far, Kevin. First off, one, you're just relentless study of the craft, right? Like the amount that you were studying this, that you're watching this. So many of us, I think, just get caught up in what we're doing and don't look back and reflect on what's working, what's not working. So you're monitoring the success of things, which I think is absolutely incredible. Two, the second thing was you started implementing into your own business what you were doing for other businesses and how that started to pay off and unlocked a whole new world for your business. And then lastly is like putting a process together that anyone can go through. And by the way, if you've spent any time making videos, whether live videos, recorded videos, videos for ads, if you've done any of that in the last like year or two, and you're still doing it, and you don't pay $37 to learn how to do it right, what are you doing? Like, you got to go to thevideoformula.com, like save yourself the epic headache of like not getting results and just mimic what the top of the game are doing. Kevin, I just want to say, I'm going to hand it off to Alex. Just want to say thank you so much for your time as always, man. I learned a lot in this one, especially about monitoring success, what's going on. Two, for me, is implementing into our own business into your business, what you were doing for other people's businesses. So just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys. I was going to say too, in addition, you know, there's the video formula, there's the 10 ingredients, but I mean, I go into things like, you know, headline hacks, like how to write really good headlines for your videos. When you watch Gary Vee, there's always that headline at the top of the video. I talk about how to write really good ones for that. How to be amazing on camera, even if you've never done it before. I talk about some ways to get over that hurdle. Scroll stopping hacks. I have a whole training on just doing different pattern interrupts and what you can use. How to add captions to your videos without even ever having to get on a computer. Like, you can record a video on your phone, get captions on it. Like, how do you do that? And then I have like my tech resource guide, which is just links to all the stuff like that I use on a daily basis, like camera gear, if you want to go that route, lighting, and like, you know, software that I use, like where to get stock footage and stock images and stock music and all the cool stuff. And then a lot of other fun stuff, lots of downloads, lots of cool stuff. It's like I said, it's worth over $5,000 easily that you're getting for $37. So I might have to raise the price at some point.
He talks himself into raising the price. Go get it before he does, y'all. Oh, Kevin, thanks so much for taking time to just completely unleash pure years of knowledge distilled into like 35 minutes, man. That was epic. I can't wait to go back and listen to this. And I'm actually going to go hit thevideoformula.com. I'm going to go hit it again today. We got early access to the training, and Kevin was like, here, I'll give it to you. And I was like, no freaking way, man. We're buying this thing. Because I know that the value's in there, and Kevin always over delivers. So Kevin,
$37
Anson,
is still giving it away. Like, let's
that's
be honest.
true.
Yeah.
Still feel like we stole it from you. Dude, thank you so much. I hope you have a rockin' launch here. Let us know how it goes. And guys, go to thevideoformula.com to check it out, which, by the way, it's not like we're affiliates with it. We probably should be. But this is just pure, like, we know that Kevin delivers really high-level good stuff, and we wanted to bring that to you. So go check it out. Y'all, thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Funnel Podcast. We will see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.